Hi guys, so today I'm going to do a little bit of a Sephora storefront walkthrough with you. I just recently built one, and this channel is moving forward is going to be much more of a beauty lifestyle type channel, and I basically was like, what better way to set the tone than for me to just literally walk through, hopefully in a not incredibly boring way, every single product that I am obsessed with and I love. And I personally am just I'm a product junkie. I try everything. I've been into makeup for years. I've taken so many makeup courses and classes. And I'm also a licensed esthetician. So I went through a lot of beauty school and I've worked in salons, and I have a lot of just like product knowledge. I could talk products all day. I just felt like moving forward on this channel, this is a great way for you to kind of like get to know me through like my picks of products. I have these broken up into a couple different categories just to make it easy. For makeup, I have it broken up into face, lips, and eyes. And then also have a hair section, a skincare section, and a tan section. This is gonna be pretty long, so I'm also gonna have timestamps in the description of like when I go through each category. So if you're only interested in a specific one, feel free to check that out. And the Sephora storefront will be linked in the description as well, if you just kind of also want a quick view any of these products. But yeah, let's just jump into it. Okay, so we're just gonna start by going through the first section of makeup, which is face. Okay, so the first product I have listed is literally my tried and true favorite foundation. I've been wearing it for years. Every time I try something new, I always end up coming back to this, which is the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. I am a full coverage girl, so it's like this to me is just the ideal full coverage foundation. If you wanted more of like a skin-like finish, or if you wanted more of a matte finish, it reacts to powders like so beautifully. And I'm an oily skin girl, and I don't feel like it makes me too much more oily. You know, like I don't feel like I'm super shiny when I use this, but I think genuinely this is probably the best full coverage foundation ever. This is like literally the one product I wear, and like I actually get stopped all the time in person and people are like, what are you wearing? Like, what foundation is this? This is the one that like without a doubt I'm always wearing. And then because I do work on camera for a living, it looks great under lights. I wore this for my wedding. I wear this every day just because I'm a full glam girl, but I just think it's genuinely the best foundation on the market. I hope they never reformulate or anything. This is my absolute favorite. And then next I'm just gonna keep it in the NARS family for now because I'm such a NARS girl. Like literally they make the best products. So next is their concealer, the Radiant Creamy Concealer. This is just the best like under eye concealer. I know the people who don't like it, I feel like are the ones who don't let it sit. So before you ever blend it out, like literally put it on, let it sit and get tacky, like almost as if it was like eyelash glue or something, and then blend it out. I love using just like a damp beauty blender. I think it just gives such like a smooth base, and because it's like, it is full coverage also, it doesn't like sink into the creases as much as like some more thinner formulas would. So this is just, again, has always been my go-to. And then honestly, they just are hit for hit. Their Soft Matte Complete Full Coverage Concealer, just like the potted concealer, is next up on the list. This is the best spot coverage concealer. It's more of like a thicker, like clay type texture. I don't even know how to explain it more. It's like less liquidy, and it's more just like, it's cream, like legit cream. So I'm always using just like a flat brush to apply it like over spots. It's full coverage. Like I could have like the biggest pimple and it like can be like so red, and it covers. It's the best coverage concealer. I do use it every now and then under my under eyes if I'm like really going for like a full glam look. I also use it for a base for my eyeshadow, and then I'll set it with a powder and then do eyeshadow, and it like never creases. Sometimes for a base for eyeshadow, I will use the other concealer, the Radiant Creamy, but like I feel like sometimes it produces a little bit more oil, so sometimes you will get a crease. Okay, next I have the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt Transforming Skin Perfector. I use this as like a cream bronzer. It just goes onto the skin so beautifully, and I feel like it's not too oily, but like it still gives that like radiant skin-like texture. So this is what I use for bronzer, not for contour or anything, but if I'm using a liquid bronzer, this is always my go-to. It's great for full glam, but also if you're doing like more of like a minimal makeup look, like if you're doing more of like a no makeup, it does have like a skin-like finish. So I feel like it's just like a beautiful, like natural product that like you could use if you're doing full glam or no makeup. I think it's perfect. Okay, the next step on my storefront, I have a couple shades of these, but it's honestly next to my foundation, probably my favorite product ever. The Huda Beauty Easy Bake Blurring Loose Powder. Once I discovered this product, I literally never went back to any like the Laura Merciers, even though like they're great, like any of the other powders that are amazing. This one has just always been my favorite. I can use it for my whole face. I'm not someone who like bakes as much. I used to, you know, back in like the 2016 days, but this was so great for baking. Now I kind of just use it with a powder puff and I just like pack it into my face. And I feel like it gives such a matte finish. It's so perfect for your under eyes, to set your under eye concealer with. Like it just, again, it doesn't crease, it absorbs the oil. It literally just gives you this like flawless finish. Again, I use this on my wedding day. This is probably my most recommended product. This is the one thing I literally tell everyone to buy because people are like, what powder are you using? Like, it's great for photography, like great under lights. Like that's something I've noticed too. Like, again, like it's so safe to like wear when you're taking photos. And it also just looks really good in real life. Like, you know how sometimes some powders look really cakey in real life, but like look great on camera or vice versa. It looks so good both on camera, off camera, under lights, outside, inside. Because I'm such an oily girl, this is such a holy grail product for me because it just absorbs the oil. This is something where now that they have the minis, that's fabulous, because I just literally can just kind of reapply throughout the day and it doesn't feel cakier the more you apply. It just kind of absorbs the oil. It honestly feels like the powder version of like a blotting sheet, except it gives you like a better finish. So it's just my favorite. The one I usually just always use for my face, I feel like is tried and true. The shade I use is Pound Cake. But I also love the Cherry Blossom for under your eyes. If you have like a super pinky blush look, like today I'm using that. I just feel like it helps blend the under eye to the blush. And I feel like it gives that like Kylie Jenner 2016 glam. So I honestly, forget everything I'm gonna say this whole video, my two favorite products on the market ever to have like the most flawless base are the Huda Beauty Powder and the NARS Natural Radiant Longwear Foundation. Those are my top two. Honestly, okay, let's just go into other foundations that I have on here. I have the Too Faced Born This Way Undetectable Medium to Full Coverage Foundation on here. They sent this to me and I was kind of like, oh, you know, because I think they reformulated because I used to like their old one, but I just never really went back to it. I love their new formula. It's very like moisturizing, but not like super oily, you know, so it does have more of like a skin finish. And it also is super full coverage. Honestly, like it is pretty close to the NARS one that I love. So that's why I probably do love this one. But it is a couple dollars cheaper. So if you're trying to keep in the price range, I do really love this one. They do the shades, I will say the shades are more on the warmer side from what I've seen. I think they're a little bit more prone to oxidization, which like that's when your makeup kind of, you know, when you do your makeup and later you're like, why did I kind of turn orange? Like it's the oxidization. This isn't like, it doesn't like do that bad, but I've just noticed that sometimes the shades are a little bit warmer, which is why honestly, I don't really love Charlotte Tilbury products, is they're all very warm and orangey. And if you're not like perfectly in that skin tone, it can look really funky on you. So like we don't want to look like we're from Jersey Shore. Okay, next I have the Patrick Ta Major Skin Foundation. Honestly, this was one that I really did not think I was gonna like. I'm just such a full coverage, honestly, mostly matte. Very recently have I been like, I don't need to powder my entire face, or you know what, highlighter maybe isn't the devil. Because even in 2016, I was like, I'm not gonna wear highlighter because I'm so oily and I'm just an oily girl. I'm gonna shine. I'm trying to fight against the shine. But honestly, this foundation, like I'm wearing it right now. This is kind of competing with the NARS for me, but like in a different way. NARS is just my favorite across the board, but this Patrick Ta one, it is so full coverage the way that NARS is, and it's so much more of a luminous finish. It's very hydrating, which again is not my style. I don't like that. But it just, when I put it on, I was like, oh my God, like my skin looks gorgeous. Like I felt like for the first time where I was like, ooh, like I might be like the clean girl aesthetic or something like that. Like I was like, I kind of want my skin to like shine a little bit. Like it's so beautiful. And also when I put powders on top of it, it like mattifies beautifully. So like you can kind of do both. Like the way I do is like, I'm kind of letting like the luminous side like show a little bit, like, so I am a little bit more glistening. But like the powders like mattified, like obviously my T-zone and everything like that. I love this foundation. So if you're more of someone where it's like you want more of a luminous finish, but you still like full coverage, you still want it to be very skin-like, I cannot recommend this enough. I think that House Labs concealer is also, it's just like the NARS. If I'm gonna be honest, they're very, very similar. I do think it's a little bit thinner than the NARS one, but I absolutely loved it. Okay, dokie, bronzers. For bronzers, I have the Makeup by Mario Soft Sculpt and the Anastasia Beverly Hills Smooth Blur Matte Powder. Both of those I think are super, super great. I like the Makeup by Mario one probably a little bit more just because I use the other product for like the cream bronzer. So I feel like they kind of go hand in hand. The Anastasia one though has a super silky smooth finish. So I think that's also just gorgeous. I'm gonna try to go through these a little bit faster. Okay, next up, I put a few blushes on here. I am such a blush freak now. I don't like over blush or anything, but like I just love to play with different blushes. So a couple of the ones I included that I love is I do love the Rare Beauty Soft Pinch Bouncy Blush. I do love like their liquid blush too. They are a little too crazy pigmented. That's why I don't really lean towards those. But those are super awesome. And obviously, and they're always sold out too. So it's like, I just never even go for them. But the Bouncy Blush one is a hybrid blush, which is really fun because it goes on like a cream, but it has more of like a powder finish. Kylie Cosmetics also has one that I do love too. Both of those are great, but Sephora doesn't carry Kylie Cosmetics, so I couldn't put those on there. But I just feel like that product's such a best of both worlds. You can kind of layer it on top of stuff. It's very buildable, which I love. And then I also do have the Makeup by Mario Soft Pop Plumping Cream blush. This is what I wore for my wedding, actually. I thought it has like a really nice finish. The cream is so blendable and it's also very buildable. And then I have the Patrick Ta Major Headlines Double Take blush. Those are all so great. So they're a duo where it's cream and powder. And I know Patrick Ta's method is to do powder before cream, which I think is interesting. And I sometimes flip back and forth when I'm using his product specifically, just because I'm like, if it's his product, I'll use his method. But I think you could do it either way. I do think they have an amazing range of colors. They also have like a lot of like neutral blushes where they're almost like bronzers, if you call it. Like they're like a blush bronzer. And I love kind of skin color bronzer where it's like, it just kind of looks so cohesive. So those are great. Okay, and then next I have the Too Faced Cloud Crush Whipped Lip and Cheek Blush. Those, I got them in the mail and they sent me like every single shade. I'm obsessed with these because I'm more of a cream blush before I am a liquid blush type of person. I love doing like cream and then powder. These are the first like liquid blushes that I've been so obsessed with. They dry down kind of fast, so they do kind of actually have a little bit more of a powdery finish. Like at first glance, like they're not super dewy, which is like what I don't really love about liquid blushes. But these are so great. They're incredibly pigmented, like the Rare Beauty ones. Like seriously, like I do like 2 little dots in it. I'm like, oh my God, this is too much sometimes. I haven't tried them on my lips yet. I'm gonna put that on my to-do list, but I love these and they smell really good. They smell like cotton candy. And then for a fun powder blush, I just feel like I always go back to, it's just those Dior Rosy Glow powder blush. And I love to use the shade just like pink. It's more of like a cool tone pink. I think it just, again, gives such like Kylie Jenner 2016 beautiful blush look. And it's not very pigmented. And I know that's the complaint about it, is it's not very pigmented. I like it because I like to put cream first and then layer this on top. And I think it just helps blend from like your bright under eye to like the more pigmented part of your blush. I think it's a perfect like topper blush. So that's more what I use this for. But I've used it for years. I love it. And I hope that they never change the color. And also nailing like a cool tone pink is so hard. Lastly, I have the Patrick Ta Major Glow Cream and Powder Highlight Duos. I know a lot of people didn't like these. Maybe it's just because I'm so hesitant about highlighter because I'm so oily. I feel like these give just enough. They're like the blushes where they're duos, they're cream and powder. So you can kind of control what you're doing. Like sometimes I'll just use the cream or just use the powder, but I feel like they're just so controllable. I really like them. I really love like the shade range they have too, because they have highlighters that are more like pink, more that are more neutral. Like you can kind of pick ones that go with like your blush. My 2 favorite ones are her, I hate the shade names though, shade Baby, because it's pink, so it's awesome for like pinky looks, but like I think I'm wearing that one today. It just goes perfectly with the blush, and it's also more of like a cool tone pink. Which I love cool tone pinks. And then shade Daddy, I think is more of like a neutral bronzy highlight, which I just think kind of looks gorgeous with any look. So those are my two favorites. But that for the most part is the face section, which is the biggest section, obviously. So the next section I'm going to fly through is just the eyes section. Honestly, I'm such a loyal to Makeup by Mario person. I think the best palette on the market right now for eyeshadow is the Master Mattes eyeshadow palette. It just has every perfect shade of nudes you could use. It also it just has such a great range. There's so many transition colors. They also have it in like a cool tone palette. I like the original Master Mattes just because I like more of a warmer look. But they have amazing cool tones as well. I didn't put that in my storefront, but I do just like my everyday look, my glam look, my barely any makeup look. I always reach for this palette. The powders just go on so smoothly. I could have this for the rest of my life and be fine with just that. And then honestly, my favorite brow product is just the Anastasia Beverly Hills Brow Wiz. It's more of the super thin pencil. I think it's like a nice in between like powder cream product for your eyebrows. So it's not too light and it's also not, you know, like cream, like where it's like 2016 eyebrows, which I'm super at risk for having because I already have thick, bold, defined eyebrows just naturally because I do unibrow. So I like this because it's super easy to control. You could literally do like hair-like strokes. I don't usually use a gel, but when I do, I use the Benefit Cosmetics 24-hour just clear brow gel. Honestly, I just love the wand. I think it's a great product. And it also doesn't feel too like crunchy when you put it on. Sometimes if you use a brow gel, it feels like really hard. It's not too harsh. It still has like the flexibility so you don't like feel like your eyebrows are like glued down to your face. So that's one I love, but it also still holds. I never do like the fluffy brow look, so I can't really vouch for that. And then for mascaras, I'm more of a false eyelash girl, so I never really like recommend mascaras too much. But one that I do love is just the Too Faced Better Than Sex mascara. I think it's classic. I've used it in middle school. I'll use it today. And then I only put one pair of false eyelashes on here because I normally get most of my eyelashes from other places. But the collections I do love at Sephora is honestly the Sephora collection themselves do have a couple good ones. But just the Lily lashes I think are so nice. Like honestly, they always give Insta Baddie, but like obviously they're a little bit more expensive, but you do get a lot of wears out of them. So like it does even out. Okay, and then the next section I'm gonna go through is the lip section. My number one lip gloss by far that like I buy probably 30 of these a year because I go through them so much is the Makeup by Mario Moisture Glow. They're so nice. They're moisturizing like a chapstick, but like they lay like a gloss. They have just like a really, really beautiful sheen complexions to them. My favorite shade is Rosewood Glow. Like that's like my go-to shade no matter what. I wore that on my wedding. Like that is my favorite shade ever since they came out. Like I've been all about these. My only complaint about them is I wish they had a little bit more product in them because you do end up using so much. And then honestly, another lip product I found recently that I have really liked was the Summer Fridays Dream Lip Oil for Moisture Sheer Coverage. They don't have a ton of colors, but they do have really good colors. And I do think the pigments on them are really, really nice and like heavy. So it's like you do get a lot. Honestly, my one complaint with them is like they're so glossy that is a little messy. Like the bottle is like always messy, but I do feel like it does come with a good amount of product in it. Like I've bought one and I think I've had it for like months now at this point. So, but yeah, those are super pigmented, super, super glossy. And then I did put on here the Huda Beauty lip stains. I know a lot of people didn't like these. I actually do really like these. They're super convenient because I love a lip stain, but I hate the like having to wait for it to dry down so you can peel it off. These are just instant. Like you basically just use it like a marker and it stains. And I mean, it stains. Like they are really hard to get off. Like my one qualm with it sometimes is it dries down too fast. And so I'm like, oh, like I put too much here, or like I'm going to be kind of stuck with the crooked line for the rest of the day. I actually really love them. They do come with like very little product. I know people were freaking out about that. And then they were like, oh, it dries out. If you do have these, you really need to make sure that they're facing down and it will work for you instantly. I promise you. And it actually will last you a while. I haven't even gone through one yet. And I've been using them pretty much since they dropped. It's like a couple months later, I guess. But I think they're actually really great. You just have to have like a steady hand when you use these, and just make sure you store them down, and I promise you it will work well for you. And then also I have for just lip liner, I love the Ultra Suede from Makeup by Mario. I think those are great. They have, again, a lot of complementary shades to their lip glosses, so I think that's why I just like naturally go towards them. I'm not very picky with lip liner. I feel like lip liner is lip liner, and honestly a lot of times I just end up using like a NYX eyeliner pencil. Like I use that for a brown sometimes, and I do like that. But I do have a really interesting product that honestly pains me to even say because it hurts so bad. The Too Faced Lip Injector Extreme like lip plumping lip liners. They're the craziest lip plumping product I've ever tested in my life. I don't know if it's because it's a pencil, so it doesn't like absorb, but it just sits. Literally my eyes will like start to water when I put these on, and I've lasered my body from the neck down, and I'm like, oh my God, this is too much sometimes. Like I'll wipe it off. So if you're gonna use these, I do recommend like prepping your lips with moisture. You don't want your lips to be dry for this because it will hurt more. But man, does it give you such a pout. These are just some of my favorite, and they're also like contour shades, so they are just like great for like layering lip liner, layering lip gloss. I do love these. These are the craziest lip plumping products. And then another lip plumping product I do love is just the Fenty Gloss Bomb Heat. Those are also very strong, and they're very glossy. They have like a gorgeous color to them, so that's why I do love those. Okay, and then the next section we're to get to is the hair section. I think my biggest go-to product for my hair recently has been the Way hair oil. It has a heat protectant up to 400 degrees, which I love, and it's just such a great hair oil. It doesn't have any scent or anything like that, but like I love it. I pretty much put it in my hair just like every day. I put it in my hair when it's wet, before I blow dry it, anything like that, for heat protectant. It's not too heavy, so literally sometimes I could put it like on the roots of my head and not look like, oh my God, I have the greasiest hair, which I would never do with any other product. So yeah, it's a very lightweight but like just great natural hair oil. And then another hair oil I do have on here is the Olaplex No. 7 Bonding Oil. That's just always a great one too. Also has heat protectant. If you're an Olaplex girl, if you put it in with the blow dry cream that they have, you could like literally just mix those two together, and it's like such a good combo. I'll just go down the line. Olaplex too, I do have their volumizing hair heat protectant spray. That to me was just like a really good like low-key volume product where it wasn't insane, but like if your hair is wet and you just spray it at the roots, when you blow dry your hair, it gives it like a nice natural volume. So I do love that. It's kind of like a nice texture spray almost. I'm just not a dry shampoo person that much anymore. I just kind of let my hair be greasy, or I wash it again. I don't really like the texture of dry shampoo. I don't know, but sometimes you're desperate. And honestly, the only one that I'm ever like I'm gonna buy is the Amika one. It just smells very clean. It's talc free. I don't feel like it's heavy on my hair. That's kind of the only one where I'm like I don't really feel it. Obviously you still feel any dry shampoo, but like it's one I really love. And also the can's just really pretty. Also like a newly fallen in love product that I think I've like troubleshooted a million times and I've finally figured out how to use is the Color Wow Dream Coat. I think that makes my blowouts or like my hair just so sleek and beautiful. And it also like speeds up your blow drying hair time as well, because I think it's basically like hydrophobic a little bit. So it's kind of just like pushing off the water. Don't quote me on that. I might be wrong, but I do feel like my hair just dries a lot faster when I do use that. And it just makes your hair look so sleek. I do love it. And then last two, I have the Pureology hair masks. One's the strength cure, and one's like a hydrating, nourishing. They're both superfood hair masks. I went through a time in my life where I literally was using both of these just like as my conditioner every day. It makes your hair so soft. One of them's for strength, one of them's for moisture. Right now that I'd mix them, they smell really good. Also, another small section I wanted to add was a tan section. I am such a tan junkie. Like I get a spray tan or a fake tan, like self tan, any of those things once a week. I love to be tan. It just makes me feel like I feel skinnier. I feel like my makeup looks better. My clothes look better. It just like gives you a glow. Like I love. That's kind of my one qualm with Sephora is they actually don't carry that many self tanner products. I've like troubleshooted every single tan product. I'll probably do like a whole other video on like all my favorite tan products and everything because I could talk for hours about that. Okay, so the first one I do have is their Saint Tropez Self Tan Express Bronzing Mousse. I love any Express tan. I don't want to sleep in it. It's just gross. Like I just feel dirty and I always feel like I have a spot, or like I'll wake up with like my hands tan because I'll sleep with my hands between my legs. I think that this is a great express tan. Also, the Isle of Paradise also does have like a self tanning mousse. I'm not sure if this one is an express tan, but I have tried this before, and they do have the different shades like medium to dark and like all that stuff. I always go more towards a dark shade for self tanners because I feel like you have to go with the darkest shade in order for you to like actually get color. If you are looking for something that looks more like a spray tan, you could do more of like a medium one if you're just looking for like a glow. But if you're looking for like a tan, always go dark. And then Isle of Paradise also does have amazing face drops. And they also, what I do like about them is that they do have different tones, because normally bronzing face drops are just that alone. Like they don't really have tones. This one you could do dark or medium. So it kind of gives you more control when you're because your face is just going to fade faster. So if you have a tan and you want that glow on your face, just always be putting on these tan drops. Saint-Tropez also does have this bronzing mist, which I think is great. I do love a bronzing mist because I always feel like that just gives like a light glow. Like in your makeup, you just douse it on and it just kind of like refreshes the DHA in there, and then it'll kind of just give you a little bit more of that glow back. And then lastly, I have the Luxe Unfiltered Hydrating Gradual Self Tanning Lotion. These, one, just smell great, but two, it's more of a gradual tanning lotion. So it's more of the the Jergens type thing where it's like you put it on and it'll kind of slowly build if you keep putting it on day after day. I love these for tan maintenance. So if you're using a self or spray tan, a couple days in, if you feel like it's starting to fade, if you layer these on top, it kind of gives you a little bit more of that color back. It's kind of like face drops for your body. Or honestly, you could just use these alone if you're like, I just want a little bit of color or like a little bit of a glow. This is great. I just love these. I think the bottles are super cute. They smell super good. Okay. And then the last section I have is the skincare section. This is the one where I'm like, I have a little bit of merit because I'm an esthetician. I'm such an advocate for basic, simple products. I feel like that's the best thing for your skin. The number one thing your skin is always asking for is just routine. And so I feel like having basic skincare is the best thing for harming, like now aggravating acne. And also it's just not gonna like rip away your barrier. I love basic skincare. So I did start with, I have 2 Dermalogica products on here. I've actually been to like the Dermalogica headquarters and I've like learned a bunch of stuff there. I love Dermalogica because they're the definition of just like basic but great strong like products where it's like they're salon quality. The special cleansing gel I think is just a perfect all skin types cleanser. And then also their pre-cleansing oil is great because even for someone like me where I'm like I have oily skin or I'm prone to acne, it is very gentle on your skin. It's so great to remove your makeup. This might not even show up because I think it's sold out or they might not keep carrying it, but the Murad and Visiscar, I've gone through several times in my life where I've had like major outbreaks that left scars. This is the one product that like truly saved me. So even if it's not on my storefront, I do recommend it. Honestly, what's next to Dermalogica, like in terms of like basics, but like honestly might be probably my favorite skincare company right now is The Ordinary. The Ordinary has very basic skincare and they also have it at the most affordable price point. They feel like honestly like the e.l.f. for skincare where it's like they're dupes to everything else, but like they're cheap. Like everything is like, I get a lot of things for like under $10, which is crazy nowadays. I think but my favorite product by them, like it's one of my favorite products ever, especially in skincare, is the glycolic acid toner. It's just such a great exfoliating product. It's a liquid exfoliator and literally I'm not even kidding when I say I use it all over my body. I've used it on my face a couple times a week. If you are someone who suffers from like a back acne or just like body acne, you could put it in like a spray bottle and just kind of like mist your back or whatever. And it's so great. It's not too overpowering. Literally you could use it on anything. You could use it on your underarms. You could use it on your bikini line. Like there's so many different places you could use this. I have a full video of this on my TikTok. If you're interested in that, love this. And it's like $13. So you get so much too. It's just amazing. Also, The Ordinary has this high strength peeling solution for brightening. This is basically a liquid peel you could do at home. This is something you do need to work yourself up to. Do not do this every day. Like really start to like cycle it into your skincare. Kind of looks like blood when you put it on a little bit, but like it's kind of like the glycolic acid toner, but like on crack. So if you're looking for like a really good exfoliation, it's so good. Okay, the next is this cleanser by this company. I think it's called Dew. It's their Baptism Gentle Foaming Facial Gel Cleanser. I got this as like a PR package at this point, like 6 months ago. It's like the never ending bottle. It's $34, but it's honestly like, that's not even that crazy. Again, it's a very gentle, basic product. Like I use it along with like a CeraVe or something like that. I think this is such a good cleanser. I'm obsessed with this. It comes in more of like a tin metal type container and I like double cleanse with this. I swear it lasts forever. But it's so good. It's not too gentle like a moisturizing thing, so you definitely still do feel like the oil's lifted off of your skin, but it's not aggravating. This was just such a random product that fell into my hands that I would not have grabbed, because also I don't feel like I ever see anyone talk about this company. I am obsessed with this cleanser. And then if you have dry skin, and sometimes I go through like dry skin phases, even though this whole video I've been talking about how oily my skin is, because sometimes I need to like start from zero and my skin is stripped. Or if you want more of like a dewy makeup look, one of my favorites to use, or like even at nighttime, I don't even know. This is just such a great product. The Glow Recipes Watermelon Toner and Moisturizer. I love using them in tandem. They're so hydrating, but also not like they're oil free. So they're very like, it just goes into the skin. Like it's a water-based product, which I love. Like the moisturizer, it's very refreshing to the skin. Like if that makes sense. It's not like a heavy cream. Like I've loved using these products like after like a sunburn on my face. They're so gentle and obviously they smell amazing. And then the Tatcha Dewy Cream has been like one of my holy grail moisturizers. It's a very thick moisturizer. And again, I know, why would I use a thick moisturizer when I have oily skin? I'll make a whole other video on that. But don't strip your skin of oils because you will just keep making more. I think that this is one of the best moisturizers ever. It's very expensive. That's my only qualm with it, is it's like $70. But it does last a long time. Like you do need to like not use it like crazy. A little goes a long way. And it also is one of those moisturizers that is so good for a full coverage glam. I feel like it just sits on top of the skin in such a silky way. It just creates such a great base for your makeup. So that's honestly something I use a ton with my makeup. And then Beauty by Joseon is such an out of nowhere great Korean skincare brand. Their rice milk toner is really good for days where you want to do more of like a matte look or like a little bit more oil control. It's very gentle. I love that toner. The Revive Eye Serum. Oh my God, that's been my favorite eye serum for like a year now. Oh my God, it's so great. That's my favorite one to use at night before bed. And then there's sunscreens. The one I have up right now is like the Day Dew sunscreen. I like all of their sunscreens. This is the best sunscreen to put under your makeup because sometimes SPF can flash back with your makeup. So if you're under lights or if you're going to an event where you know there's gonna be flash photography, you do have to be kind of careful with putting on sunscreen for those things. Sometimes I wouldn't, even if I was gonna be under these lights and stuff like that, like I'm gonna skip sunscreen, which is a no-no. Always wear your sunscreen. But this one is such a safe, it goes under your makeup beautifully. It's such a good base. It's oil free, so it doesn't cause any oil. Honestly, I like don't even notice the difference between when I use it and don't use it with my makeup. Okay, so that was the walkthrough of my Sephora storefront. Those are basically all of my holy grail products. Obviously my storefront's gonna keep changing and growing as I love more products, and I'm like, oh my God, I forgot about this one. But I felt like these were just my off the top of the head products that I am glad to put my name behind. And also it's just like an easy way for you to kind of like see my curated picks. So if you're interested in checking that out, I will have that linked in the description. And also I have a couple videos where it's linked to the products. So you can kind of see how I use it. A lot of these products are on my TikTok as well. If you have questions about these products, feel free to drop a comment. I could talk about this forever. Sorry, this video was so long. I just really wanted to set the tone for when you're coming to me, what are kind of like my tastes when it comes to products. But yeah, that's it. My TikTok will be more of the short formed product based videos. So if you're interested in stuff like that, but I'll also be doing a lot more long form beauty videos on here and stuff like that. So I could really tell you what I think. Hopefully this wasn't too boring, and thank you guys so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.